my opinion, the jury would have acquitted in that trial as well. The jury probably would have found not guilty against all of them, and that was the big guys: Cliven Bundy, Ryan Bundy, Ammon Bundy, Ryan Payne, another Montanan. Who else? That was the so-called Tier 1, the leadership of the whole Bundy protest. Anyways, and it became clear that they weren't going to get the convictions. The jury was probably, the most diverse jury of all of these. It's funny, the juries were the actual, the saving grace of all these cases. The juries would not do what the government thought they should do. And ultimately, it came out. Remember, I told you that Ryan Bundy had filed that motion wanting the surveillance footage from the cameras that he remembered seeing. Well, they hemmed and hawed, said they didn't have it. Then they had to admit, actually it became clear they did have it because there was other photos that came out that were sort of accidentally dropped in discovery, where someone analyzed a picture and said, well, wait a minute, it looks here like there's a BLM officer standing in front of footage that appears to be from those cameras. Okay, then the government had to admit, okay, there was some footage, they were filming, but it was just a live stream, it wasn't recorded. Oh, really? They kept lying. They lied their way the federal prosecutors lied their way through all these cases. Ultimately, the judge found 7 major Brady violations. By that I mean that violations where the federal government, the U.S. prosecutors, were required by law, a U.S. Supreme Court decision called Brady versus Maryland, which requires them to give over to the defense evidence of innocence. Required by law to give the defense any evidence tending to show that the defense is innocent. Required by law. They weren't doing it. They were withholding stuff. And finally, the Judge Gloria Navarro, pronounced the case dismissed with prejudice. And that was the big trial, the big group. There was still one trial remaining with the second tier group, and the government actually folded on that, on the last trial. And I remember speaking to people a year earlier, and I said, mark my words, I'll take even money that the last trial never happens. That was a prediction that I said to several people, and I was completely shown to be correct. The last trial never happened. The Tier 2 group was never put on trial. In fact, the federal government even filed a motion, or filed a stipulation of dismissal with prejudice. They voluntarily dismissed Dave Bundy, Mel Bundy, O'Shaughnessy, Jason Woods, voluntarily. Now they're still trying to retry the core group, the so-called Tier 1. They're still filing a motion to Judge Navarro to retry and restart the prosecution against Cliven Bundy, Ammon Bundy, Ryan Bundy, and Ryan Payne. Payne, by the way, ended up pleading guilty in Oregon, so he's the only one of that group that's currently locked up. Where is he now locked up?
Sheridan, Oregon.
He's in federal prison in Sheridan, Oregon. Ryan Payne, a Montana, and he'll be out later on this year, we believe. I would love to take any questions about any of this.